A reminder, the news doesn't end here. Here's what's coming up on WCNC Plus at 7. The improvements coming to Charlotte bus stops this morning, all in the name of safety.
All of our team is dedicated to doing this as fast as possible.
How leaders hope new amenities will make public transit safer, brighter, and more accessible for you.
City Council is debating who should be in charge if that 1% sales tax increase passes in November. Coming up, what's at stake with early voting starting in a week.
President Trump announcing major first steps in a landmark peace agreement for Gaza. What's involved in this new deal and the questions that still remain about the war's future.
And there's a new legal battle over what South Carolina students can read.
Why those suing the state say your students' rights are at stake. Those stories and much more live, local, and breaking news coming up on WCNC Plus.
A busy start to your Thursday morning commute. This is I-85 there at Graham Street. Can't see a whole lot, but I do want to let you know we do have a new crash right there. I-85 inbound lanes. Right-hand shoulder is going to be blocked because of it. Again, I-85 southbound at exit 40. That's Graham Street right there. Chris.
And right here we are looking at a much cooler day. 85 yesterday, 72 today, and even chillier by tomorrow. We're going to have lows right around 50, and then slight chance for rain on Saturday, sunshine heading into next week though. All right.
Looks great. Thanks for joining us. Make it a great Thursday, and join us now on WCNC Plus.
And thanks for joining us now on WCNC Plus at 7 on this Thursday. I'm Megan Bragg in for Ben.
And I'm Lisa Washington. Here is a live look at the roads this morning. This is actually I-85 at Graham Street. You may notice as you head out, it's going to be a bit cooler today. Chris is back with us today. He has a look at the WCNC weather impact forecast.
All right, let's do this, everybody. Check it out. We got sunshine and little clouds today. It's going to be a good one through our WCNC tower camera. Look at those beautiful pink hues. We're still about 20 plus minutes away until we have our official sunrise for the day. But compared to just 24 hours ago, boy, is it chillier. It is 14 degrees cooler than around sunrise yesterday. So that is substantial. That drops us down into the 50s for most of us and even around 40 degrees for you in Boone. So check out what a difference a day makes. We're officially now 39 degrees around Boone. Your technical low is 38 so far this morning, and we just lost 3 degrees, if I can do simple math, from where we were just about an hour ago. 56 degrees here around Charlotte. Expected to be 5+ degrees cooler by this time tomorrow. So 56 right now in Charlotte, 54 around Concord, and then 52 around Salisbury. So here's what's happening compared to where we were. We're at 78, 83, 85. Yesterday was super uncomfortable, humid. We don't have that. We have that cool, crisper fall air and only a high around 72 degrees today. But one thing to mention, we will have a pretty decent breeze that these arrows are representing coming out of the northeast. So that will make you feel a little bit chillier at times, especially if you are not in direct sunshine. So kind of keep that in mind for your day. Today overall looks to be a sunny one. I think you could pick up maybe some upper level clouds, but it's really not until tomorrow that those clouds start to take back over. So by your Friday afternoon, we're even looking at a chance, I think, for a few sprinkles. No real big measurable rainfall at this point, but kind of like yesterday, we did have some areas of rain, but really it was almost spitting at you. I think that's what's going to happen. And then that cloud cover eventually is going to thicken up completely for your Saturday. Here's where our lows are going. 50 degrees right around Charlotte, 53 for you on your Saturday, and then mid to the upper 50s on Sunday. But it's the weekend forecast that's going to be the big deal. We're kind of close to that humid range on Saturday and Sunday, but it's still going to be feeling just fine. And Saturday and Sunday are also the only chances for rain that we have over the next 7 days. And it's all because of an associated low pressure system. What's going to happen is this coastal low, or should I just say low for right now, becomes a coastal low. That's going to derive a bunch of moisture from the Atlantic, and it's going to get stronger. It's almost turning into a tropical storm-like system, but doesn't have the tropical characteristics. You need to have a closed low. It can't have any fronts attached. So let's just almost call this a second to a tropical storm-like system, but it's going to provide still gusts up to 40 to 50 miles per hour. That's tropical storm force gusts, a lot of rain for the eastern Carolinas, and even a little bit of rain heading into the weekend. So as I do here on WCNC Plus, just note that we have a chance for rain on Saturday and Sunday. We're going to put our weather bookmark right here. I'll have your 7-day forecast as well as a closer look at this rainfall heading into your weekend coming up. But first, let's get our first check of traffic with Majestic. Good morning.
It's our Thursday morning commute, and it is starting to get busy. We're starting to see lots of oranges and reds pop up on my map right here. Those are our typical delays, but we also have a couple important things to let you know about this morning. This one here could be a headache for your morning commute because right now we're looking at the right-hand shoulder that's currently blocked, but because there is an accident right here on I-85, traffic is moving even slower than it typically would be. This is I-85 exit 40. That's Graham Street here, so you can see those inbound lanes here shaded in oranges and reds. This is one of our cameras getting close to that incident right there. You can see they're actually trying to zoom it in right here to show you exactly what's going on. Again, off to the shoulder, so we shouldn't have any big concern, but we will continue to follow that. If we learn anything more, we'll be sure to let you know. I-85 out there in Gaston County, a crash here on I-85 southbound near McAdenville. That's exit 23. It's already starting to cause some delays as well. You can see all right here. Now, this is a spot where we always have delays this time of the day at 7:04, but not helpful when we also have an ongoing wreck. Keep those two things in mind. That's going to be most important, but we're also following this minor accident here. Yellow here, meaning that we have medium impacts. Lane is blocked on this. This is John McCow Place near Jane Parkway. Those are the things you need to know for now. We'll have another check on those two bigger accidents coming up here in just a little while.
All right, thanks so much, Majestic. Major developments this morning in the war between Israel and Hamas. Israel and Hamas have agreed to portions of a peace plan meant to bring an end to war in Gaza.
We're going to take a live look right now at Gaza. People have been celebrating this peace deal. The rest of the Israeli hostages could be coming home very soon. NBC's Alice Barr has details on the news, bringing hope to Palestinians as well.
Celebrations in Israel as word spread of a deal to free the remaining hostages from Hamas captivity in Gaza. pause the fighting and see Israel withdraw its troops to what President Trump called an agreed-upon line. He spoke overnight on Fox News about a conversation with Israel's prime minister.
I said, Israel cannot fight the world, baby. They can't fight the world. And he understands that very well. So it's amazing the way it's all come together, and it's a beautiful picture.
That following dramatic moments during an event earlier Wednesday when Secretary of State Marco Rubio handed the president a note and a whispered message.
I was just given a note by the Secretary of State saying that we're very close to a deal in the Middle East.
The Israeli cabinet set to vote today on the peace plan President Trump advanced. Approval would trigger the pullback of Israeli forces, with hostages expected to be released on Monday, according to a senior White House official.
What do you guys have to say to President Trump?
Family members of some of the remaining 48 hostages sharing their gratitude to President Trump and their determination to see the deal through.
We will not stop fighting until we see the last of the 48 return to their family.
20 of those hostages are believed to still be alive and would be the first returned in exchange for Palestinian prisoners and desperately needed aid into Gaza. Israel and Hamas so far only agreeing to phase 1 of a 20-point plan to bring a final end to 2 years of devastating war. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Back here at home this morning, authorities in Chester County are investigating a bomb threat made towards a local high school. The sheriff's office says the threat was made to Great Falls High School yesterday. The school is on an intercession week, so most students weren't there. However, those who were taken away from the school to a reunification site. The building was then searched, and officers said that there is no other concern that has been found at this moment.
We have an update now on how Charlotte transit leaders hope to improve, particularly when it comes to bus stops. This comes amid ongoing concerns about transit safety and accessibility in Charlotte. WCNC Charlotte's Tradisha Woodard has a closer look at the changes on the way.
For many bus drivers, it's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's also about feeling safe while doing so, too. Now new enhancements are underway to address some of those concerns. From dimly lit corners to stops with no benches or cover, visibility and safety have been major concerns across the city's transit system.
We hear a lot from our customers from a visibility standpoint that lighting is desired, specifically at night. While we do have street lights, they don't tend to shine directly on the bus stop. And so we even hear from our operators that sometimes at night visibility is a concern where they don't see individuals waiting at the stop.
The Public Transit Advisory says to tackle the issue, the city is testing new solar-powered lighting units.
We have 6 units currently in the field and plan to deploy about 10 more in this fall. So how these units work is they attach to our standard pole and they emit light for 5 minutes at a time. They are pushed to activate.
The Public Transit Advisory Committee also outlining a plan 5 years in the making, which includes what's been done and what's on the way. Officials say new bus shelters will be rolling out with plans to upgrade more than 2,000 stops with new benches, waiting pads, and shelters.
We are in the process of receiving our new shipment through our supplier for the amenities. We received most of these. We're still waiting on one more additional shipment.
City leaders say these changes are just the beginning, part of a broader push to make Charlotte's transit system safer, brighter, and more reliable for riders who depend on it every day.
All of our team is dedicated to doing this as fast as possible because of how important amenities at the bus stops absolutely.
Tradisha Woodard, WCNC Charlotte.
Ahead here on WCNC Plus, a legal battle continues. In just hours, a court will hear arguments over National Guard troops in Portland, why Oregon says it's illegal, and how the feds are firing back.
Welcome back to WCNC Plus. Time right now, 7:12. Live pictures this morning from the Capitol where lawmakers on both sides of the aisle continue to struggle to come to an agreement, sending the nation into day 9 of a shutdown. A 6th vote to end the government shutdown failed to pass the Senate. The Senate rejected the Democrats' alternative short-term government spending bill along party lines. The Senate also rejected a House-passed short-term spending bill that would have reopened the government through November 21st.
In just hours, a court of appeals will hear arguments over the controversial deployment of National Guard troops in Portland. The state of Oregon argues the move is unlawful and they say it's not necessary.
NBC's Kylie Ibishi has more on the legal battle and how the federal government is pushing back.
The legal battle over protests in Portland goes before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals Thursday. At issue, whether President Trump has the authority to send in the National Guard. Norman Williams is a law professor at Willamette University.
I think the Ninth Circuit's really going to focus on whether the administration made out its case for the need to federalize National Guard troops to handle the protests.
The 3-judge panel will decide whether to uphold or reverse a temporary order barring the deployment of the National Guard. This past weekend, Judge Karen Immergat, a 2019 Trump appointee, ruled that the National Guard cannot be deployed for at least 14 days. Both sides have filed extensive briefs in the case. The state of Oregon argues the deployment of the National Guard is unlawful and unnecessary. While the feds respond, the president has the authority, and extra help is needed to secure the ICE facility in South Portland. Now, oral arguments go before a 3-judge panel, explains Lewis and Clark law professor Tong Yin.
As the lawyer, you get questions from any of the 3, and you might be answering questions from one judge, and then another one interrupts with a question, and you have to finish your answer and then respond to this new question.
Attorneys from 42 cities and counties around the country filed a brief supporting the state of Oregon and backing Judge Immergat's decision to temporarily block the National Guard from being deployed in Portland.
Now that hearing starts at 9 this morning. In less than 2 hours, each side will have 20 minutes to make their case, and that does not include time for the judge's questions. Of course, we don't know what that decision will look like, nor when the panel will rule.
Former FBI Director James Comey is pleading not guilty to federal charges. Comey was arraigned yesterday morning on charges of making a false statement to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding. The charges were brought after a public campaign by the president who says Comey lied to Congress when he said he did not authorize leaks related to an investigation. Comey maintains his innocence. A jury trial is slated to begin January 5th. Well, coming up, Majestic has a check of your morning commute.
Welcome back, everyone. And again, we appreciate you for downloading and watching us here on WCNC+. So I left off talking about that big coastal low, but I want to recap what we can expect today. Yesterday, we were in the 80s. Today, the lower 70s. So instead of being well above normal, well, we're back below normal. Lots of sunshine today. A beautiful day, feeling great. Lower 70s, no complaints. No rain today, nor tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, I would say there's a chance for sprinkles. I still have a 0% chance for measurable rainfall for the time being. But Saturday and Sunday are big question marks now, and it's all associated with that low that I was pointing out. So I want to show you directly what we could see starting off on your Saturday morning. Saturday morning, for one, I think it's going to be a breezy one. Today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, all those time frames, even the overnight hours, we'll have a chance for a gusty environment with winds getting up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour. That's pretty much it here. Those could double closer you get to the shoreline. Now, this is 6 a.m. The heaviest rain is mainly from Monroe further off towards the east, but we will have a chance for on and off showers heading into your late Saturday morning into the afternoon. Now, the best news I have for you is that this distance itself from that center of the low, that coastal low, that we're going to see a lot of this rain fading out the further west that you go, but we're still going to have overall a cloudy, overcast day. Even when it's not raining, it might look like it's going to rain. That rain takes a big step back heading into the afternoon, evening hours, even a chance for the western zone to see a little bit more sunshine compared to areas off towards the east. But then once that coastal low really gets on top of the Outer Banks, that's where I think we have the biggest push for rain. And watch, this is 6 p.m. and that rolls into about 3 a.m. So the winds drop off at this point, just for our data at least, but you're still going to have some gusty winds up to about 25 miles per hour. So I think we could have another surge of rain kicking off your Sunday, but this should be out of here by about your Sunday afternoon. So great for the Panthers game. And I'm not going any further because this is one of my favorite models. It doesn't go out that far. So we still have a lot of unanswered questions, but this is a major impact for us here in the Outer Banks. We're talking about overwash up to about 3 to 5 feet. That is actually more than what we had from Hurricane Erin. Now, Hurricane Erin was much stronger and further out to sea, but this is a direct landfall, if you want to call it that, of this coastal low that's going to leave all that energy and some strong winds directly over the Outer Banks. So I think parts of Highway 12 could be closed, and I can't forecast houses to fall in the ocean, but I've seen far less systems that have done that. We've been seeing reports of that on and off really over the last couple of weeks. So that is a big cause of concern there, with winds up to 50 miles per hour, big time waves, and even the further inland you go, gusts to about 20 to 30 miles per hour with a decent moderate rainfall, where our current models are showing upwards to about 2 to 4 inches when this is all said and done for the eastern Carolinas, with even some reports upwards to about 4 to 7 inches of rain. But I think that 2 to 4 is really going to be the main average as far as the eastern Carolinas go. Less than a quarter of an inch, even less than a tenth of an inch for much of the greater Charlotte area. Meanwhile, here's the wind gust. This is Saturday at 8 p.m. Gusts up to about 40 to 50 miles per hour. So those are tropical storm force gusts. This will be out of here by your Sunday late day, and that's going to lead us for a much better forecast, maybe some lingering breezes. So for your 7-day forecast, moving back to Charlotte, all is looking well here on the Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day. And it's by your Sunday afternoon that I think the sunshine really starts to come back. And see an outside chance you could even see a little bit of sunshine late day on Saturday. But then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, all is well, mostly sunny skies, feeling great. Temperatures either side of 80 degrees. But if you're going to the Outer Banks, maybe don't, because it's not going to be a great weekend. Let's get out to the roads with Majestic. How's it looking so far for the 7 o'clock hour?
We do have a new accident to let you know about. This one, we have a picture of it. It's an injury incident, and it's impacting all directions. You can see the fire department is there helping out with this. This is at Old Statesville Road at Pete Brown Road. So we'll keep a close eye on this. I will let you know once it is completely cleared. Otherwise, as we switch it over to my map, still seeing a whole lot of red out there, a lot of delays, but also now we have a handful of ongoing wrecks. Still want to let you know that this is active on I-85. The right-hand shoulder is blocked because of a crash, so it is on the shoulder, but it's going to be at exit 40. That's Graham Street. This is I-85 here. You can see there's a lot of cars out on those roads, and again, since it's on the shoulder, I don't think we'll have significant impacts, but just be mindful. I think cars are just moving a little slower right around it. I-85, Gaston County, good morning. The slowdown is on, but we not only have our typical slowdown, but we also have a crash on I-85 southbound near McAdenville. Exit 23, those delays are going to be ongoing. 485, the outer loop right there near Berry Hill. Stop and go traffic. Not seeing an accident, just kind of that time of the day. This crash is actually getting a little worse. I'm starting to see more yellow pop up here. A lane is blocked because of this crash. It's on John McDowell Place near Janes Parkway. So as you can see, a lot that's ongoing this morning. And then finally, just want to let you know about this one on Rama Road. Both ways will be impacted because of a crash on Kirkpatrick Road. We'll have another update all coming up here in just a few.
All right, Majestic, thanks so much. We are once again calling on submissions for our next hometown hero. With the help of the Charlotte area Hyundai dealers, we're recognizing a current member of the military or a veteran. Head to WCNC.com/hometown hero between now and October 12th to nominate someone. If they win, they'll get a brand new Hyundai Santa Fe.
Country music icon Dolly Parton says she's okay and she ain't dead yet. Loyal fans were on high alert when Parton's sister made an online appeal for prayers a few nights ago. People were especially worried because the 79-year-old had postponed some upcoming performances. Parton posted a video to social media and cleared up recent rumors about her health.
Sometimes it may be difficult to keep up with new tech. A library in Nashville is working to teach seniors how to better use it, specifically artificial intelligence. It's part of the library's Digital Inclusion Week. The class breaks down different types of AI and ways to use it in your everyday life. It even offers safety tips, pointing out some of the dangerous ways people on the internet can use it to take advantage of others.
Everybody wants to know about AI, including the seniors. So we want to give them a little introduction to AI as well. We want to make sure that everyone has the tools they need to improve their lives and just do everyday things with technology.
Digital Inclusion Week wraps up on October 10th. The goal is to shine a light on digital equity, making sure everyone has access to technology and the internet. And here's the thing about AI, you do need to proceed with some caution, but it can be very helpful.
Oh, very helpful. And you know, if this is something that's going to be in our everyday lives, we need to figure out how to use it.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll make sure that you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. Another update on weather and traffic in just a couple minutes, and then the day's top headlines at 7:30.
Hopefully everyone's having a terrific Thursday so far. Current temperatures right now, 56 degrees, feeling much cooler compared to what we had just a day ago, 39 for you in Boone. But a beautiful start to the day. Overall, it's going to be a mostly sunny one. Get outside and enjoy it. Over the next 12 hours, not much to mention. We'll be on the breezier side from time to time today, gusts up to about 20 plus and highs in the lower 70s. Now tonight, this will be the chilliest night that we have had so far this season, dropping down to 50 degrees before we have a nice mix of the 50s. And then by tomorrow, only a high around 70 degrees with increasing clouds, and that does lead to some intermittent rain chances for your Saturday and Sunday. Nothing washout-wise, though. 70 forecast by Jerry Hunt Supercenter. All is well. Once you get past the weekend, beautiful weather. Either side of 80 degrees, comfortable, rolling into next week. Let's roll into our traffic with Majestic this morning.
It's our Thursday morning. Let's get to it, guys. Gotta let you know we do have an injury incident, though. An active crash right here. It's going to be impacting all areas right around Old Statesville Road and Pete Brown Road. Keep that in mind. We do have some emergency responders there on scene. We also have our typical delays. I-77, I-85. Do want to let you know about this one. The right-hand shoulder is blocked because of a crash on I-85 southbound at exit 40. That's out on Graham Street. I'll be following that very carefully for you. Hope you have a great day and travel safe.
Thanks for joining us on WCNC Plus at 7:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Megan Bragg. Early voting for Charlotte's general election starts 1 week from today, and a major decision on Charlotte's transit future is on the ballot. Destiny Richards joins us now to show us why who's in charge could just be as important as the tax itself.
Yeah, this is all about city leaders trying to figure out the right way to appoint members of this new transit authority, basically the group that would oversee the use of funds for the 1 cent or 1% sales tax increase if it passes in November. Right now, they're focused on that appointment process, transparency, and they're also talking about if a current city council member can actually serve on the board. Now, Monday's city council meeting turned heated after council member Tijuana Brown questioned Marjorie Molina's application to join the future Transit Authority Board. Molina lost her re-election bid for District 5, but says there wouldn't be any overlap since her term ends December 1st. The interim city attorney also clarified that the position may not be purely voluntary and the authority could decide to set pay. Council agreed to live stream interviews and make the applicant list public, but pushed any final decision on the appointment process to next Monday. Community leaders like Charlotte East's Greg Asciuto say residents are concerned about transparency and want to know who will be making decisions before they vote.
The biggest concern that we have heard from our community is that we don't know who is going to be on that authority until after we vote to agree to spend $240 a year per household in perpetuity with no sunset. Asking voters to essentially sign that type of a contract without knowing who is going to manage the money, it's a tough ask.
City Council has until November 24th to finalize their appointments for the Transit Authority. And again, all of this is not set in stone. It doesn't actually move forward unless the sales tax, the 1% sales tax increase passes on November 4th. I'll send it back to you ladies live in studio.
And so Destiny, this, I guess in some ways is really like crunch time for them.
It is, yeah. October 13th, so next Monday, is the day that those applications are due by. So assume that it's like over 100 applicants. City Council has to finalize that down to their 12 appointments out of the 27 member transit authority. So it's a lot to go through, a lot to figure out, who is going to decide ultimately on those appointments. How are they going to be fully transparent with that, especially ahead of early voting? And then there's also, if it does pass on November 4th, they have to finalize everything by November 24th. And if you think about it, this is also an election for city council seats. So not everyone who's deciding on the members of the board are actually going to be sitting on city council by the time that, they have to finalize everything. So for example, Marjorie Molina, she applied to be on the board, but she's also kind of a part of the decision making. So this is what they're kind of pushing ahead to Monday. So on October 13th, when the applications are due, that's when they'll finally finalize how they're going to select these appointments. So we'll find out Monday exactly how this is all going to go down.
And that in itself could take some time when you're talking about, all right, I'm deciding who's going to be on it, but I'm also interested. I'm on the council. Yeah, that's going to be kind of tricky. Yeah. All right, Destiny, I know you will keep us updated. Thanks so much for that report.
And Destiny, I want to give a shout out. Welcome to sweater weather. Looking good, my friend. And it really just shows the testament of what we had yesterday to today. Yesterday morning, not great for sweaters. Just letting you know, 85 was the high. It was humid. It was uncomfortable, especially for this time of year. Now, how we felt yesterday, say a month and a half ago, that actually feels much better than it usually does. But it's kind of all in perspective. Now, today, 72 degrees. We're already 10 to 15 degrees cooler for our lows this morning. Our highs are also going to replicate that. Overall, a mostly sunny day, so that's the difference of a cold front. And we're feeling great, looking great for today. Highs and lows are below normal for now, but we are watching for rain this weekend. That's going to be the big wet weather system to watch on the horizon. Right now, our WCNC tower camera, this is gorgeous, wunderbar. We're seeing some upper level clouds off in the distance, but this is what I'm talking about. Compared to just 24 hours ago, this is substantial. A 14-degree cool down right across the Charlotte area. It is 23 degrees cooler around Boone, so that leaves 39 in Boone, 56 in Charlotte, 59 in Chirac. Welcome to that more fall-like air. And compared to yesterday as well, we've been either side of 80 degrees to the lower to the mid-80s. Big difference in the lower 70s, and we're also going to see some chillier lows as well, where tomorrow morning physically is actually going to be one of the coolest that we've had so far this season, where the coolest we had was October 3rd, 52 degrees, and the 4th, we were 53. I have a low of 50, with some of us dropping down into the upper 40s. Now let's talk about the main event, the big part of the forecast, and that is this low. Now, it doesn't look like anything right now. It's just a front that's stalled off the coast for the time being, but here's how it's all going to go down. You're going to have this low pressure system that glides offshore, and then it starts to pick up a little steam. It's starting to feed off of the warmer Atlantic waters, very similar to hurricane formation. But since this has a front, it's not a closed low. It's not going to have all the characteristics of that. It's actually more like a nor'easter. So that's going to flow winds out of the northeast, and it's going to have big time impacts for the Outer Banks. And we're even going to see a little bit of rain here. Further west you go, you don't have to worry about anything. But that is the main situation here. And we're also looking at a big time uptick in our winds. Our winds are going to be gusting up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour today. They come down, and they'll be gusting in that range for the weekend as well. So I want to jump right to the rain that we're expecting for Saturday. Saturday morning, we have our best chance for rain, followed by Saturday night into Sunday. Scattered showers possible really from Monroe off to Rockingham. Could scatter across the Charlotte area. The good news here is that it's distancing itself from the low, so likely it's going to struggle to hit the ground. More likely it's looking like maybe it would look like it's going to rain, but it doesn't actually rain on Saturday. But just watch out for this. But if you're watching from, say, Wadesboro over to Rockingham, it will rain likely on your Saturday morning. Then after that, we're drying up for the afternoon. Another surge of rain possible heading into your Sunday before we start to dry out, clear out, and still feeling comfortable heading into next week. So right now, this is one of my favorite days this week. It's comfortable, 72 degrees. The breeze will still make you feel a little bit on the chillier side. Through the weekend, the clouds erode on Sunday, so it should be A-OK and rain-free for the Panthers game. As of right now, either side 80 degrees, looking great heading into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Right now, my favorite days. Still can't decide on the pick of the week next week, though, Majestic.
I can't decide either. That's a pretty good looking forecast. All right, one thing to know as you're heading out the door this morning, we have an active crash. It's an injury incident. It is causing delays in all directions. It's on Old Statesville Road at Pete Brown Road. You can see a couple of firefighters are there, at least a firefighter truck, and you can see a few cars are going to be impacted by that. So just keep that one in mind. I will let you know once it is all cleared. We have a whole lot of red out there. It is prime time traffic hour. We're looking at 7:38 right now, right on the dot. I-85 here. We're still following this where the right-hand shoulder is blocked because of a crash. It's at exit 40 Graham Street, so be careful of that as you're heading out the door. This is typically a pretty good live camera shot, but it's looking a little odd right now. But that is I-85 there. At least the crash there is on the shoulder. This is still ongoing as well. It's going to be a crash on I-85 southbound near McAdenville. That's exit 23. It is really causing some delays this morning, so allow for a little extra drive time to get to where you need to be, or just take Highway 74 instead. Over to you guys.
Majestic, thanks so much. Developing this morning, we are now hearing from the family with that last dairy farm in Mecklenburg County, which is now in the hands of a developer.
We told you this week, TM Westmoreland and Sons Farm sold its Huntersville property to Shea Homes for almost $25 million. WCNC Charlotte's Walker Lawson sat down with the Westermore family, who's been farming this land for generations, as they prepare to say goodbye.
Well, the Westmoreland family has called this farmland home for over a century, and now they're milking up the final months as a new development is on the way.
As a third-generation farmer, Keith Westmoreland knows every inch of this property.
This is the house where we grew up.
Currently, he, his wife, son, brother, and sister-in-law all live on the property. But it's not like the farm used to be 20 years ago.
We used to milk over 100 cows.
Last year, they quit farming, but a decision had to be made.
Was that an easy decision?
No, it was not. We ran out of farmland to farm. We leased a bunch of property to grow crops. All those have been developed, and we kept picking up land and surviving. And the past 5-6 years, it's been barely keeping the head above water.
Now, the hum of tractors will fade and the sound of construction will begin, as the land that sustained their family for generations will become a neighborhood with 260 homes.
We sold because our lifestyle here on this farm has changed and can't go back because of traffic, because of cars.
Today, Keith rides his golf cart through the same fields where he once worked early mornings and late nights, as he says goodbye.
It's just home, and home's going to be hard to replace.
The family says they have until August of 2026 to move from the land. Reporting in Huntersville, Walker Lawson, WCNC Charlotte.
Well, trending this morning, UNC football head coach Bill Belichick and athletic director Bubba Cunningham are responding to reports that they discussed a potential exit strategy for Belichick. Yesterday, 24/7 Sports reported that preliminary discussions started in what's been a rocky start for the Super Bowl winning coach. This follows other reports of an assistant coach recently suspended over rule violations, players selling their free tickets against the rules, and the school's Hulu documentary getting canceled. The university posted a statement on social media. In it, Belichick says, quote, "I'm fully committed to UNC football and the program we're building here." Meanwhile, athletic director Bubba Cunningham says Belichick has the school's full support.
Halloween is quickly approaching. We'll tell you why this year you shouldn't wait to grab your candy or decorations. That's next.
The time now, 7:44. This morning, you might want to get an early start on buying Christmas decorations. The National Tree Company is warning of limited inventory this year due to trade war tariffs. This shortage affects everything from artificial Christmas trees and lights to decorative wreaths and rings. The company CEO says the peak for Christmas decor sales is Black Friday weekend, but he warns that you should start buying now to avoid missing out.
And with Halloween just a few weeks away, if you haven't bought your candy or your decorations yet, you may want to do it soon. Anthony Ramos tells us why this year's treats might cost a bit more than usual.
Creepy masks, decomposing decorations, and tons of candy could cost shoppers more this Halloween season, according to new data from the National Retail Federation.
I am noticing an increase in costs just all around Halloween.
The NRF recently releasing its annual consumer survey, finding that across the nation, Halloween spending is expected to reach a record $13.1 billion this year. That's up $1.5 billion from 2024, with each person projected to spend about $114. Some of the increasing costs are due in part to the ongoing tariffs on Chinese imports. According to the Halloween and Costume Association, roughly 90% of Halloween products contain at least one part made overseas, mainly in China. Some shoppers haven't noticed the impacts.
I think they're about the same. They're comparable.
About the same?
Yeah.
How much are you spending on average for Halloween?
About $40 for each child, so I have 2 kids, so about $80.
Others, like Fernley resident Caitlin Reyes, have noticed a difference.
I'm just buying these costumes makes me want to go home and just do something DIY for the family, you know, and also just trying to decorate outside. I want something that looks big and awesome, but You know, you can't really afford to do anything too fun nowadays.
For shoppers like Reyes looking for those DIY options, thrift stores like St. Vincent's in Reno may just be the best option, according to Lisa Ross with Catholic Charities.
Well, Halloween can be super fun, but it can also be very stressful for parents when they can't afford it. So we have brand new costumes for children, from babies all the way to adults, and maybe you don't want a whole costume, you just want parts.
For Reyes, Halloween starts the holiday season, and despite the cost, she offers a reminder to all.
Even if it costs a little more, it doesn't even matter. Just enjoy it with the family.
In Reno, I'm Anthony Ramos reporting.
All right, so as the resident mom here who has bought costumes for years, one, we have not bought them for this year. My daughter's still deciding. My son hasn't even mentioned it yet. But you're right, the cost of the costumes can be a lot. The problem for me is that you only wear them once or twice, and that's it. So I don't like spending a lot of money on them. But again, I haven't gone down that road yet, so we shall see.
Making them, like we did that last year, and I was just like, oh man, we're not doing it.
What did you guys make?
Well, let me see. I was Rhino, Kim was Doc Ock, and JT was Spider-Man. So we bought the Spider-Man thing.
Yeah.
So like,
Nice.
Like, Kim went all out. But this year now, JT's really into it.
Okay.
So he wanted to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and then I was messing with the song, saying different animals instead of turtle. So now he wants to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Bat.
Oh, the kids, they don't make it. They do not make it easy for the parents.
No. Well, yesterday, all of a sudden he's like, I want to be a dragon. And Kim goes, no, the cutoff is over. It's Teenage Mutant Ninja Bat. They're going
And that's the thing, you're right, because they're kids, and so they'll change every 2. Actually, so, and then, decorations, you guys do that? Buy your candy?
I have some pumpkins out, but Majestic, you said you love Halloween.
I do.
What's your costume this year?
Honestly, I don't know yet. Time's a ticking, I know.
I feel like you could be a really good, like Majestic Storm is a superhero.
Everyone says that, but like the costumes aren't that cute. Like there's a superhero named Storm, and she's just like wearing black, and most people are like, well, what are you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, we
Last year I was a mermaid, and it was, I think, my favorite costume.
How'd
Had
you
like
like
a
the
big long hair and like a light up crowns whenever you'd go to a Halloween party. It's like, she's here, and the crown's like, colorful.
I love that for you, and I could so see
Yeah,
you.
I could really
Sorry,
see
the
that.
producer, I have more questions about this. Did you have the tail?
She was a mermaid, of
Tail for the
course.
mermaid.
I mean, yeah, I had my little,
Okay, I wasn't sure. I was like, how are you walking around in that if
It was little, it was
She
tight.
was a mermaid. All right, what's next? What are we talking about? Oh, this, a creepy crawly problem at a Virginia high school leaves parents concerned. We'll tell you more about the poisonous pests causing alarm. time is now 7:51. If you have arachnophobia, you might want to cover your ears for this next story. A high school in Virginia is dealing with a potential spider outbreak. And these aren't just any spiders. We're talking about poisonous black widows. Some say they've spotted more than a dozen, and even a few have made their way inside classrooms. The school district says it's working to solve the problem. Some parents say they weren't informed of what was going on.
Is there nobody cleaning the classrooms and going through them and checking and seeing that? And if so, why is there no communication to us?
Yesterday afternoon, a letter from the school's principal was sent to staff and parents saying that everyone will continue to be updated on pest control efforts. We were just talking about spiders and you were like, no.
That's a black widow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I've learned. I know what they look like. I'm not afraid of the orb spiders.
Okay.
Now I'm superstitious to kill a spider.
Yes.
Because I'm worried that their brethren are going to come back and get me. I know that sounds irrational.
Yeah.
But no, there's certain ones like that they can harm your family. Yeah, no.
I had a black widow in my apartment one time.
What'd you do?
Oh my gosh. And I had the people come up and kill it. And they were like, yeah, we got it in your bedroom. And I'm like, it was in my bathroom. And the other black widow was still in my bathroom. It was the scariest thing ever.
All right.
Okay, that is scary.
Less scary, even though some people might be scared of this, but our stink bug forecast.
Oh, yeah, I saw one of those yesterday.
It's this time of year that it starts to get chilly, and those little buggers love to come inside. So just letting you know, they're going to be hanging out around the windows trying to sneak in. So that'll come up a little bit for your Friday, come down through the weekend, and then it'll start to come back up again next week. Now, really, when you start getting up to the chilly status, it'll come back in, so stay up in the high country. But Grandfather Mountain, I wanted to do a fall leaf or fall foliage update. We're officially at the peak on top of Grandfather Mountain. This is the time, this is it before things start to brown off. Meanwhile, right here around Rough Ridge Trail, parts of the Blue Ridge Parkway above 4,000 feet, it's at the high color stage. So that means over the next week, likely hitting the peak, and then really starting to change things over around the Boone area. So we're right in line with around the peak. It's typically above 4,000 feet October 12th. So within that week, October 7th is usually the peak for around Grandfather Mountain. Well, it's the 9th, so we're pretty much right there. So what I'm saying to you here is ASAP, get up to the mountains because we're going to see big changes, especially with lows a little bit on the chillier side. Should be a pretty decent forecast. If you're going up today, today's the time to do it because it's not as busy. Beautiful blue skies, sunshine, highs right around 60 degrees. Get up to the high country and check out those leaves. Let's get her over to Majestic for a morning commute.
Good morning, everyone. Well, it's not too bad of a start of the day. Let's take a look at some of those drive times if you are hurrying to head out the door. 62 minutes if you're coming in from Salisbury, so you better get going soon. Just over 30 if you're heading in from Matthews. This is I-77 near Carowinds Boulevard. You can see area roadways are looking all right. Still following this active crash right here, though. Old Statesfield Road at Pete Brown Road. It's an injury incident and it's impacting all directions, so make sure you're careful of that. It's not completely blocked out, but you can see that's what it does look like currently. I-85, I've been keeping a close eye on this crash here. It's the right-hand shoulder that's currently blocked because of a crash. Southbound lanes at exit 40, that's Graham Street there. And then again, I-85 just continuing to move rather slowly because of traffic and then a couple of accidents. This is I-85 southbound, though, near McAdamville. That's exit 23, and it's starting to move really slow. We'll have another update on those area roadways and everything more coming up in just a few.
Good morning, everybody. Who's ready for a terrific Thursday? This guy is. 72 degrees for a high today, 69 right around Hickory. We are overlooking right around the Charlotte Motor Speedway, all as well. But you can see these flags that are blowing in the breeze. Today is going to be a breezy one. Sunny to mostly sunny skies, though. Should be gorgeous. And it's not humid like we had yesterday. So that's a nice little change overall. And going forward, I think you can expect just a mostly sunny day, but more clouds are anticipated heading into tomorrow. Now, we are heading to a chillier time. It's because of those winds out of the northeast blowing in some of that cooler air, but wind gusts up to about 20 miles per hour will be prevalent throughout the day. It's overall going to be breezy over the next few days. If you're planning on going on top of Grandfather Mountain, it's going to be a great forecast up there, right around 60 degrees, enjoying that sunshine. Check out where our lows are going, right around 50 degrees in Charlotte, the 50s heading through the weekend. Majestic, take it away.
A busy start to our Thursday morning commute. Time to wake up and hit those area roadways. If you are heading out the door, if you're coming in from Gastonia, it's going to take you around 55 minutes to get into Charlotte. Just over 30 if you're coming in from Belmont. We do have a new active crash. This is on eastbound lanes of Tyvola Road at South Tryon Street. You can see it here. It's going to be blocking one lane. Make sure you're mindful of that. Otherwise, we have our typical delays, but I-85 still following this accident. The right-hand shoulder is blocked because of it at exit 40.
Thanks for joining us live on WCNC Plus at 8 a.m. I'm Megan Bragg, in for Ben.
And I'm Lisa Washington. A live look right now at the Israel-Gaza border. This is a live look right here where people are celebrating a peace deal and a possible start to the end of the war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he is assembling his government to sign off on it today.
CNN's Amy Keeley tells us the first steps could end the suffering of thousands.
This really is the end of the war.
Israel and Hamas say they have agreed to phase one of a ceasefire plan.
The next few days, with each side has to do certain things. The Israelis have to pull out. Hamas needs to release the hostages. Israel needs to release prisoners.
Hamas and its allies are holding 48 hostages. The Israeli government believes 20 are alive. President Donald Trump says their release could begin Monday. Many Israelis are expressing gratitude toward the U.S.
What we're witnessing is peace through pressure.
The Hostages and Missing Families Forum says members are excited, but adds, quote, "Our struggle is not over and will not end until the last hostage returns home." Reports out of Gaza say people there clapped and cheered at the news.
It's incredibly quiet from the skies. Come on!
The United Nations says it will supply sustained humanitarian relief to Gazans. Trump says other Mideast countries plan to help with reconstruction.
I think Gazans will have massive relief as the war stops.
Experts say the next phase of the ceasefire plan will be harder to implement.
It speaks about reconstruction in Gaza. It speaks about an international security force. All of those things are very complicated.
I'm Amy Kindly reporting.
And now let's turn to the weather, a live look outside at Uptown, and things are getting cooler. Chris is back with this weather impact forecast. Loving this crisp, cool weather, Chris.
Especially up in the mountains, but just perfect for any leaf peeping that might be going on. I'm focusing in up here on Grandfather Mountain because we're seeing significant change. Welcome to the peak, y'all. It's usually right around October 7th, so we're right here. It's this week that we need to get out on top of the mountain if that's something that you want to do before things really start to fade out to more of a brown color. But we're still going to have a really decent forecast overall for all of the above. So get outside and enjoy it. I was showing you this forecast, or at least current leaf color, and we're seeing a peak color right on Grandfather Mountain, so it's about a mile up, but still many spots along the Blue Ridge Parkway still haven't fully changed, but we're dealing with some high color. So it's really now over the next week or so that we're going to start to see really the peak. So if you have any plans this weekend or you don't have any plans, I would highly suggest maybe trying to head up there because that's what we're seeing is the best really changeover, or at least sometime this week. I like to tell people if say you have PTO you have to burn, do it during the weekday because it'd be far less busy than say going up on a Saturday or Sunday. But look at those temperatures, mid to the upper 60s, but we are going to see a significant change this weekend, all because of whatever this low is going to do off of the shoreline. So right now, it's just barely a low that's right along Georgia with a cold front. And that cold front will become stationary, meaning it's not really going to move too much. And then that's going to be the big impact in the short term. So what happens is this guy is going to move out into the Atlantic and it's going to really start to build. And as it starts to build, it'll circulate. And this is pretty much the makings of what a tropical storm would do. It just doesn't have those characteristics. So you just call it a coastal low because what's it doing? It's moving up the coast. And that's where we're going to have some of the bigger impacts. It's really filtering in some stronger winds out of the northeast. That's going to splash a bunch of water along the shoreline, and then it starts to loosen and unravel as it moves through the Outer Banks, but boy are we seeing the impacts, and that does mean that we could see a little bit of rain closer to home as well. So here's what it looks like a little bit closer to the Charlotte area. So talk about those impacts before I take a deeper dive into what we can expect across the Carolinas. You're still going to have a breezy environment overall today through the weekend. But Saturday especially, if you have any plans, keep this in mind that you're going to have on and off gusts to about 20 to 25 miles per hour throughout the day. I think it's Saturday morning and then Saturday night into Sunday that we have the best chance for rain. Because watch, we have a little pulse of rain, especially further off towards the east. If you're watching from Albemarle, Wadesboro, and Chirrah, you could have rain for at least the first half of the day, but then we cut this off. Then the second coming of this low moves back in. That's Sunday early morning that we have the biggest impacts. Again, Albemarle to Wadesboro to Chirrah over to Rockingham is where most of the rain is, and less rain the further west that you go. And it looks like by the back end of your Sunday, we're going to start to clear things out, dry things out, and calm things down, and that allows us to warm back up. That's when we're back to either side of 80 degrees with sunshine for your Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So all is well here on our Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Something to look forward to. Just get past that cloudier weather on Saturday heading into Sunday. Let's get right over to Majestic as we head into 8 o'clock. How's it looking now?
Good morning, everyone. While we are definitely seeing those delays build, we still have this active crash to let you know about. It's going to be right here, a picture of it. It's eastbound Tyvola Road at South Tryon Street. You can see it is going to be blocking one of those lanes here. So it's going to slow you down because not all roads are open right now, but you can still get through. So that's some good news. I will keep you up to date, letting you know when that is completely cleared. This crash I've been following for quite some time now. Still not completely cleared. However, I am seeing more green back behind it. Right-hand shoulder blocked because of a crash. It's on I-85 southbound at exit 40. That's Graham Street there. Just off to the east, another crash on Rocky River Road at Harris Station Boulevard. That orange here meaning that cars are moving rather slowly because of that. This is out in South Carolina. Good morning to everyone waking up and joining from there. This is at the Carowinds Boulevard as area roadways are flowing just fine, but we are still seeing that slowdown there on I-85 near McAdenville. That's exit 23. So plan accordingly if you're heading on I-85 inbound, or just take Highway 74 instead. Lisa.
Majestic thinks 8:06 now. CMPD and Charlotte leaders say they are taking a tougher stance on crime. They plan to work with community partners to address root causes. The goal is to find real solutions that make Charlotte safer. CMPD says it's tightening enforcement and making it clear that disorder will not be tolerated.
We're focusing on quality of life crimes and ordinances that erode safety, such as aggressive panhandling, illegal street vending, public disruption crimes, if you will. Minor infractions are gateways to major crime.
The task force plans to keep reviewing its progress and will announce more initiatives in the coming weeks.
A social media crackdown. Denmark might ban social media for kids under 15. We'll tell you the other countries following suit and why Denmark's prime minister says it's necessary.
Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus. The time now is 8:09. This morning, a new legal battle is brewing over what South Carolina students can and cannot read in their school libraries. The ACLU is suing the state education superintendent, saying new censorship rules have led to widespread book bans and chilled classroom discussion. WCNC Charlotte's Anna King shows us how they say this violates students' rights.
In classrooms and libraries across South Carolina, empty slots sit where books once were. Under a new state policy, more than 20 books have been removed or restricted.
3 students and the South Carolina Association of School Librarians are suing the state superintendent of education over a regulation that has led to the banning of 22 books statewide so far in our schools.
The policy bans any material in public schools that describes or depicts sexual conduct. Backed by Superintendent Ellen Weaver, the rule makes no exception for age, context, or literary value.
And the way that this book banning regulation was written is so vague that school librarians across the state haven't really fully understood how to implement it. They're afraid. Some are self-censoring.
The ACLU argues fear is causing some teachers to remove entire classroom libraries and is leading districts to limit online research tools.
We're talking about removing books from one of the only places that some kids have access. Not every family can go out and buy these books on Amazon. Not every family has the time or ability to get to the public libraries.
Bowers says the lawsuit is about more than books. It's about students' constitutional rights. But not everyone agrees.
There should be banned. There should be some kind of limitations on certain things. Exposing kids to sexual stuff so early in life only going to cause problems later on.
While others say the issue isn't just about what's in books, it's about the exposure outside of school.
They're still developing minds, so, you know, in a society where the internet is teaching them more about sex than their parents are, I think that can be very dangerous.
That was Anna King reporting. Now, in a statement, the South Carolina Department of Education says it will vigorously defend what it calls clear and common sense policies that set legally sound standards for public schools. In Denmark, kids under the age of 15 may be banned from using social media.
The Prime Minister says mobile phones and online platforms are stealing childhood, causing anxiety and depression among youth. And Denmark isn't alone. Norway is also considering a ban, and Australia recently passed a law banning social media for those under 16. Some platforms like TikTok are pushing back, claiming their services can be educational tools.
Okay. As a mom of a tween, no. I would love. Did you hear years ago there was the mom who paid her son, if you will stay off social media from 12 to 18, I'll give you $3,000.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I would do it.
I know, because
I just don't think they need it. That's just me.
And it's becoming so much harder because the only way now to connect with other kids is through social media. So your child feels left out, and it's just very, very hard. I feel for parents.
I will tell you, it is a huge discussion almost on a daily basis with the phone, because my daughter's 12. She wants a phone. She doesn't have one. And then she doesn't ask so much for social media, but I know if she gets the phone, she will be using it for that purpose. So I'm trying to hold off as long as possible.
Definitely a hard one.
It is.
But I agree. I think, there comes with a lot of anxiety and depression with social media, the need to keep up with the Joneses, that sort of thing. So, yeah.
Even adults struggle with it, so it's even more so for kids.
Absolutely. Well, coming up, Majestic has a check of the morning commute. Time now, 8:15. Original artwork from painter Bob Ross will be auctioned to support public TV stations. It comes after funding cuts under the Trump administration. Auction house Bonham says 30 of Ross's paintings will be sold across different auctions. The first one is set for November 11th as part of its California and Western art sale. 3 pieces will be featured, including Winter Peace and Home in the Valley, which are on your screen right now. Bonham says the 30 paintings are between $850,000 and more than $1 million. Dang. They're so beautiful, though. I'm obsessed with them. So, yeah.
$850,000.
I mean,
could be yours.
you know, I can't.
And remember, there's no such thing as a mistake. They're just happy accidents.
That's right.
There's nothing more soothing. I could just watch him for
I
hours.
know.
I tried doing one, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave it to Bob Ross. So we have some happy clouds out here, as he would say, and then down below some happy trees. Now, these clouds are a little bit thicker than they once were. Now, we're dealing with some on and off clouds this morning, but all in all, I think it is going to be a mostly sunny day. You're just going to have these passing by in the near term, because look at over in Louisville, a whole lot of nothing. No real happy clouds to really note, but then up in the distance right there, I think we still have the remnants of that full moon, just letting you know. Now, typically, it's this time of year that we start to shift things, and it's this time that you can also start to hit what's called nor'easters. And nor'easters has nothing to do with them moving up to the northeast, even though that does indeed happen. It's really because the winds are strongest flowing from the northeast, and that's exactly what's potentially going to be happening heading through this weekend. It's going to be a breezy one, but we're dealing with really what's called a coastal low. But the reason why I'm showing you this is this setup. If we had this forecast in January, we'd be talking about a big-time snowmaker, because as it cuts down towards the south, develops here, moves to the north, it allows the perfect setup for snow. Of course, that is not happening here. If you're just joining me, I'm just saying hypothetical snow, no hype, just letting you know. And then this low is going to really become more organized, and there's a lot of similarities to the development of a tropical storm or system here, because once it moves over the Atlantic, it starts to become tighter. It circulates faster. It drinks from the Atlantic, and it provides more rain, some near tropical air, and also picks up the winds. However, this does not have a tropical setup. Instead, it's just more of a coastal low compared to an actual tropical system, so it's not going to be named, but it could still have just as big of impacts. If you remember, we showed a lot of the overwatch video, and Highway 12 was shut down when Hurricane Erin passed by, and that was hundreds of miles away. This is even bigger impacts because it's literally going to be right on shore and on top of the Outer Banks. So concerns there. It's also going to give us some rain a little bit closer to home, but very high storm impacts expected from Morehead City all the way up to Corolla. Even Corolla in this situation usually is unscathed from a lot of landfalling systems. Well, this is the perfect setup for them to have stronger overwash coming from the northeast here, but that's overwash up to 3 to 5 feet. That's going to bring a lot of sand and sediment onto Highway 12, and the winds near 50 miles per hour. This is not a good place to be this weekend. So if you had plans to go out here, maybe you want to delay it, just letting you know. And then those impacts exponentially decrease as you head further off towards the west. Real quick look at our 7-day forecast. The only impact we're going to have here is a chance for rain on Saturday, more clouds on that day. And then once the system gets out of our hair and out of the Carolinas, we'll see a decrease in clouds and a beautiful forecast heading next week. Should be A-OK for the Panthers game as well. Hopefully we're A-OK for traffic. How are we, Majestic?
I wouldn't say A-OK. Not so much. We have an active crash right here. Eastbound lanes being impacted. It's on Tyvola Road and South Tryon Street. You can see where the incident is right there, and still not cleared, but I'm keeping a close eye on it, and we'll let you know once it is. You can see lots of oranges and reds. That's not good news. That means we have a lot of slowdowns. 45 out towards Matthews. We have inbound and outbound lanes on I-77 backed up. Much of the same out towards I-85. This accident still not cleared. Right-hand shoulder still blocked. That's at exit 40 Graham Street there. Just off to the east, Rocky River Road at Harris Station Boulevard. That yellow causing some medium impacts there. I-77 near Carowinds Boulevard looking fantastic. No delays there. Cars are moving nice and fast. You can still see that slowdown though. This is on I-85 southbound near McAdenville. Specifically, that's going to be exit 23. Those delays are ongoing. May just want to take Highway 74 instead because of how slow it's currently moving. All right, Larry, over to you.
Hi, this is Larry Sprinkle. Time for On This Day in History. We go back 99 years on this day, October 9th, 1926. NBC was founded by the Radio Corporation of America, also known as RCA. And this is back in those days, it was only radio, NBC Radio Network. Obviously, we've got radio and television, especially television today. Back in that time, it was all radio dramas. And you can see the big cast that they had about 99 years ago. So on this day in history, October 9th, 1926, the founding of NBC, I'm Larry Sprinkle.
Larry, thanks so much. It's a field trip a group of Chicago students will never forget. They traveled to Rome, Italy, where they not only got to visit St. Peter's Square, they also got to meet Pope Leo XIV, a native of Chicago's South Side. And it was all because of a class project.
Noelle Brennan has the story.
I'm completely speechless. I can't believe we actually did that. I don't even know what to say. We just met the Pope. Like, what?
They haven't yet found the words to describe it.
Like, how? That doesn't make sense.
A day they'll be talking about forever.
This is 100% going to be the coolest field trip I will ever take.
To understand the field trip, you have to see the class project at Our Lady of Mount Carmel Academy.
It is time for our conclave to begin.
In May, kids like Cameron Smith
Let the Holy Spirit be with you.
and Augie Wilk
Good to have a little bit of fun, but also stay humble.
learn firsthand what it's like to be in a Cardinal's shoes.
Wow, there's so many good options.
They dress the part, and so does the school, transforming into the Sistine Chapel.
We did it!
Soon after Pope Augie, Cardinals in Rome elect Pope Leo XIV.
We found a Pope? And from Chicago? You were all like screaming, USA, USA.
Over the summer, news of the Kid Conclave spreads.
What page is that on?
And by the start of a new school year, the story has reached Rome.
And it's kind of hard to focus on learning when you're going to a different country the next week. Well, we're in Rome. Whoa.
Students and their families have been touring the city, but the sight they really want to see is the Vatican.
I think everybody's feeling pretty excited and nervous at the same time.
The Conclave kids line up with the masses right before the Pope-mobile passes. The kids have special seats, and soon this general audience with the Pope, God bless you all, turns into a meet and greet.
I shook his hand, and then I took off my hat, and then he wore it for a couple of seconds, and then he gave it back to me. So that was pretty cool, and that's the one that I'm wearing right now.
This day is one they never imagined. A mock conclave makes for very real memories in Rome. How do you top this?
I don't think you do.
I mean,
I love that.
I know. First of all, the kids are so cute.
Adorable.
Adorable. But I mean, what a dream. It is my dream. That is amazing.
I'm not even Catholic, and I like.
Oh my gosh, yes. No, it's amazing.
Very cool for them. And they will never, you met the Pope.
Never.
You're from Chicago.
I
He's from
know.
the south side of Chicago. That's
Right.
incredible.
It is very, very, very cool.
All right, well, we are going to take a quick break, but make sure that you keep it right here on WCNC. Plus, take a look at this live look over. It's feeling like fall, guys. Finally, it is feeling like fall. We're going to have another update of weather and traffic. What is that, 57 degrees? Sweater weather is here. And then we'll be back with the day's top headlines streaming at 8:30.
Good morning, everybody. We've already met our morning low. We dropped down in the mid-50s. We're back to the upper 50s, 58 degrees. In Boone, you're out of the 30s, so that's a nice little change. But still, 12 degrees cooler than we were just a day ago and 22 degrees cooler for you around Watauga County. So hour by hour, you can see temperatures venturing into the lower 70s. We'll be on the breezy side, gusting up to about 20-plus miles per hour on and off throughout the morning and the afternoon. Tonight, down to 50 degrees. We can feel the difference because tomorrow morning is shaping up to be the coolest morning of the season so far. Now, heading into the weekend, we are going to see a big change. We're increasing the clouds heading into your Friday, and then we're going to see a much better chance for rain heading into your Saturday morning, especially the further east that you go. That's where rain is starting to branch into the area. Not an all-day event. I think we dry out for the afternoon before we see a second coming of the rain showers on Saturday night heading into Sunday. Then we start to clear out, dry out, still on the breezy side. A-OK for the Panthers game, and then either side of 80 degrees with dry and sunny conditions heading into next week. Not too bad of a 7-day forecast, certainly more fall-like. Let's get over Majestic for your morning commute.
Good morning, everyone. It's a nice start to the day. You can see this is I-77 at 277 overlooking the beautiful Queen City there. We do have nice mild conditions as you're heading out the door. Do want to let you know in Gaston County, I-85 southbound, not looking the best. We have a slowdown because a lot of people are heading towards Charlotte, but also we have an accident, so make sure you're mindful of that. The accident is at exit 23 out near McAdenville. And then we have a stalled vehicle right here on Wilkinson Boulevard impacting both ways at Park Street. Take it easy. We'll have more on WCNC Plus.
Thanks for streaming live on WCNC Plus at 8:30. I'm Lisa Washington.
And I'm Megan Bragg. Early voting for Charlotte's general election starts 1 week from today, and a major decision on Charlotte's transit future is on the ballot. Destiny Richards joins us now to show us why who's in charge could be just as important as the tax itself. Good morning, Destiny.
Yeah, who's in charge is basically this new transit authority that we've been talking about for a while now. They are the group that will oversee the funds from this 1% sales tax increase if it passes. And right now, council is just focused on the appointment process for the members of the authority, as well as transparency and whether or not a current council member can serve on this board. Now, Monday City Council meeting got a little bit heated after council member Tijuana Brown questioned Marjorie Molina's application to join the Future Transit Authority. Molina lost her re-election bid for District 5, but says there wouldn't be any overlap since her term ends December 1st. Well, the interim city attorney also clarified that the position is not purely voluntary and the authority could set pay. Council agreed to live stream interviews and make the applicant list public, but pushed any final decision on the appointment process to next Monday. Community leaders like Charlotte East's Greg Asciuto say residents are concerned about transparency and want to know who will be making decisions before they vote.
Biggest concern that we have heard from our community is that we don't know who is going to be on that authority until after we vote to agree to spend $240 a year per household in perpetuity with no sunset. Asking voters to essentially sign that type of a contract without knowing who is going to manage the money, it's a tough ask.
Charlotte City Council has until November 24th to finalize their appointments. But again, there technically is no transit authority in place unless the 1% sales tax increase is passed by Mecklenburg County voters on November 4th. I'll send it back to you ladies in the studio.
And Destiny, it kind of seems like there is a time crunch here.
It definitely is. So early voting is next Thursday, and they have to start deciding on the members and narrowing down that list of applicants starting Monday, which is when the applications close. So people have to decide on this 1% sales tax increase before even knowing who is going to be in charge of how the money is distributed for these road projects and transit projects. So it's kind of tricky in that regard. And then also the members of City Council, not all of them may be re-elected to continue on City Council after the election. So they have to also decide who's going to be on this board. So it's a lot to be worked out. Again, they have to finalize all of this by November 24th, assuming that the referendum passes. But it's a lot of internal things they're working out in this appointment process. But again, they've committed to transparency, and by Monday is when they say they're going to have some sort of appointment process in place. That being, how to distribute the appointing process properly among council members, among the mayor, because they have 12 appointees that they are responsible for on this 27-member transit authority.
A lot of decisions that have to be made in a short amount of time. All right, Destiny, thanks so much for that. I know you'll keep us updated. Let's check back in with Chris now to find out more about our forecast on this Thursday.
Not going to be a bad one. We're looking at some upper level clouds. These are some cirrocumulus clouds, some altocumulus mixing in there as well. It just depends on the level. But this is usually a nice little sign that either something is coming or something is leaving. And that's exactly what we're dealing with. And it's going to be a decent start to the day, but it's a lot cooler compared to just 24 hours ago. At this time on your Wednesday, we are 12 degrees warmer in Charlotte, 16 degrees warmer in Concord. And oh yeah, around 20 degrees warmer around North Wilkesboro, 22-degree difference in Boone. So yeah, a big difference a day makes. That stronger wind out of the northeast filtering in some of that cooler air. Also less cloud cover definitely helps out as well. 58 right now around Charlotte, 56 for you over in Shelby, and then still a mix of the 40s for you in the high country. Yesterday we had a high of 85. Today, 72 degrees. It's also on the breezier side. So this is technically known as a moderate breeze. A moderate breeze is anywhere from about 12 to 13 up to about 18 miles per hour. And there's occasional gusts that are going to get up to about 20 to 25. So you're going to notice it, but this time the breeze out of the northeast will be noticeable, especially if you're in the shade. Sunshine will make it feel about 10 degrees warmer. 50 degrees, our overnight low. By the way, that would be the chilliest that we've had so far this season since June 1st or since the end of May. We hit 52, I believe that was on the 3rd of October. We hit 53 on the 4th. Well, 50 degrees will be the new bottom with some of the surrounding areas, such as Salisbury, Hickory, dropping down into the upper 40s. But look at you, Boone. 36 degrees. By the way, you don't need to be at 32 for frost to form, but you do need the wind to be still. That is not the case, so it does not look to be really the first frost for you up in the high country, but hey, very, very close. Check out where our lows are going after this, though. This is the absolute bottom for our lows and also for our highs in the near term. Then we're fluctuating between the mid 50s, which is a little bit more typical for the middle part of October. And then we will see a nice little comeback as far as our highs are concerned, back to the lower 80s on Tuesday through Thursday before they settle back to the upper 70s. So this is only a quick visit to really the end of October, and then we're right back to where we should be. And then look at our precipitation chances. They only come up for this weekend, and there's a really complex system that's going to be rolling in. I'll have a lot more details on that coastal low coming up in the next time I'm up here talking about weather, but my time's up. It's now time for Majestic to tell you about your morning commute.
It's really busy out there this morning. If you're heading out, it's 8:36 currently. So let's give you some updates on what I'm currently looking at. Here's a live camera look. That is I-77 and I-277 there over towards Uptown. But we do have a couple of ongoing problems that are going to likely slow down that morning commute. And let me show you my map right now, because you can see all of the red that's currently ongoing. The red, the oranges, that is meaning that we have significant delays. We typically have that this time of the day, but we are also still watching a few ongoing problems. This one here, they are clearing it. Just want to give you an update there. The right-hand shoulder that's been blocked for a while now, impacting still some of those southbound lanes on I-85. But then just off to the east of it, Rocky River Road at Harris Station Boulevard, still seeing some yellow there, meaning that we do have some of those delays. Again, I-77, if you're coming in from York County, not too bad. We will have more updates for you coming up here shortly. And I-85 is slow if you're making your way inbound because of an accident near exit 23.
Majestic, thanks. 8:37 now. We have an update on how Charlotte transit leaders hope to improve, particularly when it comes to bus stops.
This comes amid ongoing concerns about transit safety and accessibility in Charlotte. WCNC Charlotte's Tradisha Woodard has a closer look at the changes on the way.
For many bus drivers, it's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's also about feeling safe while doing so, too. Now new enhancements are underway to address some of those concerns. From dimly lit corners to stops with no benches or cover, visibility and safety have been major concerns across the city's transit system.
We hear a lot from our customers from a visibility standpoint that lighting is desired, specifically at night. While we do have street lights, they don't tend to shine directly on the bus stop. And so we even hear from our operators that sometimes at night visibility is a concern where they don't see individuals waiting at the stop.
The Public Transit Advisory says to tackle the issue, the city is testing new solar-powered lighting units.
We have 6 units currently in the field and plan to deploy about 10 more in this fall. So how these units work is they attach to our standard pole and they emit light for 5 minutes at a time. They are pushed to activate.
The Public Transit Advisory Committee also outlining a plan 5 years in the making, which includes what's been done and what's on the way. Officials say new bus shelters will be rolling out with plans to upgrade more than 2,000 stops with new benches, waiting pads, and shelters.
We are in the process of receiving our new shipment through our supplier for the amenities. We received most of these. We're still waiting on one more additional shipment.
City leaders say these changes are just the beginning, part of a broader push to make Charlotte's transit system safer, brighter, and more reliable for riders who depend on it every day.
All of our team is dedicated to doing this as fast as possible because of how important amenities at the bus stops absolutely.
Tradisha Woodard, WCNC Charlotte.
Ahead here on WCNC Plus, we are highlighting Breast Cancer Awareness Month, how you can help survivors and those still battling.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and this year people are being challenged to go beyond just wearing pink.
That's right. We talked to the American Cancer Society during our live Impact News right here on WCNC Plus about their special fundraiser that's being held this month, the Making Strides Walk. It's going to be on October 25th. They say it takes the entire community to beat cancer.
We want to go beyond, like you said, beyond the awareness. Wearing pink is a beautiful way to start awareness and start the conversation, but it's the action that really moves the mark and really helps us to end cancer as we know it. So taking that action is so important now. We need to get our mammograms done. We need to make sure our moms, our sisters, our coworkers, our friends, they're getting their mammograms done, because early detection is life-saving. The earlier we can detect it, the better treatments, the better outcomes.
That's right. And Judge Norelli, you can speak to this, a 32-year breast cancer survivor. That is fantastic. What does this month mean and represent to you personally?
Well, you know, it's been a terrific opportunity to share my story again, which I thought was important. But the stories I've heard from other people have just been remarkable. And I think a message I want folks to understand is that yes, you can survive cancer, and one key way to survive is to have someone who completely believes in your survival, whether it's your husband, your daughter, your coworker. And so I was blessed with a husband who totally believed in my survival. I was blessed to go on an NIH clinical study. That was the only way I could get the treatment that I really wanted. And indeed, the only way I could get it was on a randomized study because it was experimental. So I persevered, even though I wanted the big treatment, went on the randomized study, and I was randomized to the lesser arm. Difficult treatment, but not the really harsh treatment. 5 years later, that study closed. It was announced on the Today Show by Katie Couric. And the reason the study closed was because the women on my arm of the study did as well as the women on the other arm of the study, and 28 women died from the treatment on this arm of the study. So that study was so important. Bone marrow transplant was never used again for breast cancer.
Oh, is that right?
So this was one of the most important things I ever did in my life. And I urge people to be brave. If you get a chance to go on a study, do it.
Do it. Making strides is so important in that way, is having the community support you, right?
It is. It's an amazing event. So Making Strides Against Breast Cancer, October 25th, I have to plug it. But it does bring together the community. I know I expected my first walk to have some tears and some moments, and there are a few tears, but it's happy tears. Just seeing so many people come together, people who don't even know each other, become this tight-knit community supporting each other, and it's truly an amazing feeling, because it does, as Nancy said, it does take a community, it does take those resources to come together to support you.
And you raise money, and this does a lot of work. We need the money to fund the research, the studies, all of the trials. How much money are you hoping to raise this year?
So for our event this year, we're hoping to raise $425,000.
Okay.
We're a little over halfway there, so we want to get there by October 25th.
Okay.
And just want to throw in too, not only the research, but we're funding local patient support too.
That's fantastic, fantastic. And so what do people need to know to get involved?
Sure. Go to makingstrideswalk.org and you can register. You can get all the information for the walk. You can donate. Nancy has her page up. She also has her story on our page. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram as well and see her and the other ambassador's story. But yeah, come walk with us, register and sign up.
And again, that walk is October 25th at Symphony Park in South Park.
It is so important to, get your mammograms, get checked. Recently, I did a Verify talking about how younger and younger women are getting breast cancer and just cancer in general.
Yeah.
So super, super important to, do your self-checks and everything like that.
Correct. And especially if you have a family history of that, it's incredibly important. As you said, I know someone who unfortunately passed at age 38 from breast cancer. So it certainly happens, to those who are younger than 40.
Yeah, and those events, I always love going to them because everyone everyone, I feel like, has a story to tell, whether it's their own or a family member's. But everyone is there, you know, ready to fight it and ready to just share their story and to give inspiration for people who are going through it and to try to help stop what could happen if you just wait.
Definitely. I just love all the pink, really.
Me too. I love the little sprinkles of pink in October, because sometimes you're like, oh, there's a lot more pink, or why is pink popping up in a situation where it wouldn't necessarily be? I went to the Roval 400 over this last weekend, and they had the pink on the windows for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah,
So I love that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, coming up, Majestic, she's right here. She's going to check the morning commute for you.
The time is now 8:49. It's time for us to connect the dots. When we make the news make sense. With the federal government still shut down, national parks could have closed, but some states are stepping in to keep major tourist attractions open for visitors. As the federal government shuts down, several state governors are stepping in to keep national parks open. Let's connect the dots. In Utah, Arizona, and Colorado, state funds are being used to maintain access to popular parks like Zion, Grand Canyon, and Rocky Mountain. This move aims to prevent the issues seen in past shutdowns, where parks faced overflowing trash and closed restrooms due to lack of staff. While some parks remain open, services are limited. Visitor centers and restrooms may be closed, and trash may not be collected regularly. The National Park Service has allowed states to use their own funds to keep parks running during the shutdown. However, this solution is temporary and may not be sustainable long term. For now, visitors are encouraged to check the status of specific parks before visiting. And that's connecting the dots.
Thanks a lot, Lisa, for connecting them dots. We have some clouds up above, but it's not as prevalent as you really think. So this is a little band of some upper level cirrus, or cirro-cumulus clouds, rather. We've seen a decent amount of blue sky on either side of this. Here's a best example. Lylesville. Beautiful blue sky to note, and just a few clouds here on the map. We're going to get rid of those. Overall, a sunny to a mostly sunny one. It's a lot cooler and it is drier as well. It's feeling better as well because we don't have to deal with that summertime surge that we had yesterday. It was 85 degrees and just that air you could wear. Now all that rain is down towards the south, and we move on to our next wet weather system. The one thing that's left over a pretty decent breeze. We're going to have wind gusts up to about 20 to 25 miles per hour for the max, but all in all, it's ranging from about 10 to 20 throughout the day out of the northeast. That is a slightly cooler breeze, so especially if you're caught in the shade, it could feel chilly at times, especially as we get a little bit closer to the evening. Power to that sunshine will help. Just again, that breeze will feel a little chilly from time to time. Heading into tomorrow, we're going to see increasing clouds throughout the morning, heading into the afternoon. Slightest chance for a few sprinkles, I think, embedded in this, but all in all, staying dry. Things really start to change heading into your Saturday. Saturday, I'm looking at a little bit more widespread rain starting to move in from the east, especially from Concord, Monroe, off towards the east. Best chance for rain on Saturday morning. I'm just a little worried that as we continue through the AM hours, that we're going to have some on and off rain. Now, once you get to the afternoon, I think we're pretty much staying on the drier side of things before we see another surge of showers from the east start to work its way towards the I-77 corridor. This is all coming from this low pressure system, which is going to become a pretty decent coastal low. That's going to cause some big time impacts right along the shoreline, talking about gusts up to about 50 miles per hour here in the Outer Banks. That's also going to dump anywhere from 2 to 5 inches of rain for parts of the Outer Banks as well. So we're just kind of getting the secondary effects from that. Really overall, just this breezy and a cloudy Saturday. Clouds start to break for your Sunday, so it should be dry for the Panthers game at this juncture, and then sunshine and warmer conditions. Still feeling great as we surge back to the lower 80s Tuesday, Wednesday, and next Thursday. That's it for weather. Let's get right over to traffic with Majestic.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. Time to wake up, get the day started. I-77 is flowing all right. This camera is actually moving. It's just a little frozen at this point, I think. Looking at 58 degrees if you're heading out the door. Nice dry area roadways. Might even want to keep those sunglasses handy for you this morning. We want to let you know about this ongoing crash right here. It's on Tryon Street. Both ways are going to be impacted at Nations Ford Road, so that is a newer crash there. And then a little closer to Uptown, we have a crash here on Freedom Drive in Moorhead Street, so definitely a well-traveled area, bringing those delays for you this morning. And then this red here, never a good sign. That means stop and go traffic. One lane is blocked because of a crash. Again, I-85 southbound at exit 46 Mallard Creek Church Road. Keep all those things in mind. We'll have final check coming up here shortly.
I wish we could recreate this from this morning, but I don't think we'll be able to. Check this out. We now know the first batch of performers and presenters for the 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame ceremony.
The star-studded lineup includes Missy Elliott, Doja Cat, Olivia Rodrigo, and Elton John. The induction ceremony will be streamed live on November 8th. Hall of Fame inductees include Chubby Checker, Cyndi Lauper, and Outkast, and the White Stripes.
Well, we are going to take a quick break right now, but make sure that you keep it right here on WCNC Plus. What we were going to recreate is that one of the top songs was actually a song by Missy Elliott, but you thought there was another song by Missy that was not.
Yeah, I thought it was Bring the Milkshakes Boys to the Yard something, and it wasn't that, but I was conferring with Ursa Men Yen, and it was
a total hit, but I mean, miss, but that's okay.
No, I literally turned red, like middle school red when it happened. I think I'm turning red again just thinking about it.
You see that?
That's not my color.
You're going to post this on Instagram,
No,
right?
I will be posting on Instagram, and I will tag all of
It's worth checking out because it was quite funny. All right, we got to go. Live Impact News at the top of the hour.
We have some clouds out and about right now, but all in all, it's going to be a sunny to a mostly sunny day. High temperatures in the lower 70s. We've got a pretty decent breeze, moderate breeze gusting up to 20 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, the chilliest low that we've had so far this season. The coolest Charlotte has dropped down to 52. We got a low around 50. And then heading into the weekend, chance for rain on Saturday morning on and off, and then again on Saturday night heading into Sunday. Here's Jerry Hunt Supercenter 7-day forecast. Lower 70s over the next 4 days, either side of 80, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday with a return of sunshine. Let's get right over to Majestic for your morning commute.
We're heading into our Thursday with beautiful weather out there. Sunny skies for that morning commute. You can see it here. This is I-77. Not seeing any major concerns. We do have our typical delays, but also a big backup right here. One lane is currently blocked because of a crash. It's on I-85 southbound at exit 46. That's Mallard Creek Church Road, so plan accordingly. In addition to that, there is a new crash right here on Tryon Street. Both ways are being impacted at Nations Ford Road. Have a good day and travel safe.